What is the best beginner fish? In short, there isn't one. But if there's not a beginner fish, how are you supposed to get into the hobby? Luckily, some fish are more forgiving of beginner mistakes than others. However, all fish require a little bit of research and setup before you bring them home. You'll need to consider things like tank size, temperature, what they eat. If you want a community tank, you'll need to find out whether the fish of your choice can peacefully live with other species. So if you're ready to put in a little bit of work, let's take a look at some of the more forgiving aquarium denizens. Number 1, the betta fish. Nearly everyone has walked into a pet store and seen the rack of beautiful betta fish living in those little cups. It's hard not to love them. They each have their own personality and do well in smaller tanks. I know my first fish was a betta. We don't have to talk about the carnival goldfish. That's going to be a different video. And I'm willing to bet a lot of yours were also a betta. I've seen them kept in vases with a plant on top, in little half-gallon tanks on office desks, and they do live in those little pet store cups for a while. While bettas aren't indestructible, they're tolerant of the mistakes made when somebody first gets into the hobby, and it is okay to make mistakes, though that doesn't mean they don't deserve proper living conditions. These little guys grow to only about 2.5 or 3 inches, and as tropical fish, they prefer warmer tanks around 76 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. 78 is personally my go-to for my bettas. They always seem to do really well, and so do their tank mates. And despite being able to live in small amounts of water, they prefer at least 3 gallons, but in this case, bigger is better. A 5-gallon will provide more stable living conditions for them and keep them happy. They'll also prefer a relatively neutral pH of about 6.5 to 7.5, and don't forget a filter. They'll prefer something gentle like a hang-on back with a flow adjuster or a sponge filter. Bettas are also known to jump, so you'll probably want a lid. Number 2 on the list is white cloud mountain minnows. If you're looking for a group of cute little guys that'll school, this is probably the fish for you. They're still popular today because of their ease of care. At least relative to other species. They do still have their preferences. And they come in several colors. These fish will tolerate a wide range of temperatures. They can even survive in a pond that's been frozen over. They're peaceful and get along easily with tank mates, which makes them a good choice for a community tank. And don't worry about the temperature too much. They can handle just about anything, like that frozen pond we mentioned earlier. Because they like to school and can stress out in low numbers, it's best to keep at least 6 of them in a 10-gallon tank. Thankfully, they're small at about only 1.5 to 2 inches in length, so a 10-gallon is plenty of space. While their ideal temperature range is 64 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit, they can happily live from 60 degrees the whole way up to 78. So you can keep them in a tank without a heater as long as your room doesn't get too cold over winter. They're also the king of not minding the pH of their water and will do just fine from 6 to 8. They'll appreciate some plants, but with plenty of open space for swimming, along with a good filter. This is also another species where a lid is probably a good idea because they like to jump, but most places you should be able to find a tank hood readily available. Number 3, cherry barbs. These little fish are bright, colorful, and unlike some other barb species, peaceful. The males are dark red and the females are a light gold color. They're a great schooling fish for a community tank. They're tolerant of temperature and pH changes, and if you're interested in live plants to go with your fish, they won't only look good against the green, they won't destroy your plants like some fish that are heavy grazers. They'll be happy in a species-specific tank, which is what we call a tank with only one kind of fish, or a community tank with other fish. They're energetic and fun to watch without adding too much drama to your tank. Cherry barbs are about the same size as mountain minnows at about 1.5 to 2 inches in length. However, they are more active swimmers and would be happier in a 15. Though that size can be hard to come by and you'll probably end up with a 20 long in its place. Like most tropical fish, 78 degrees Fahrenheit is the sweet spot for the tank, but they'll tolerate temperatures of 72 to 82. They're also happy with a pretty wide pH range of 6 to 7.5. And you're probably starting to see a theme at this point. 7 is a neutral pH, and fish like it right around there. These guys aren't as likely to jump as the last two, so you could potentially forego a hood and get some floating plants instead. Number 4 on the list is a cichlid, the Bolivian Ram. You've probably heard about cichlids before. People talk about how aggressive they can be, but not all cichlids are overly aggressive and territorial. They're more hardy than some of the other rams like the German variety and the blue, but they're also not as colorful. That's okay though. You still get the personality that people love from cichlids. They can make for a great centerpiece fish for a community tank since they can be kept with other fish given ample room, and they eat a variety of foods so you don't have to worry about a specialized diet either. These wonders are small as far as cichlids are concerned. They only grow to about 3.5 inches in length. If you're going to go with a pair of them, they'll be happy in a 20-gallon, but if you're looking for the centerpiece fish of your dreams, a 30-gallon is recommended. Their ideal temperature range is 74 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit, but they can live from as low as 72 the whole way up to 82. They prefer a pH of about 6 to 7.5, which makes them good for a community tank since most fish like it neutral. They'll appreciate peaceful tank mates like the cherry barb, corridors, and tetras. Number 5 is the Hillstream Loach. These little bottom dwellers are too cute to pass up. Their goofy appearance, along with their striking color, make them a great addition to your tank. Since they're naturally found in streams, they'll be happy in a high or low flow tank, though they do prefer highly oxygenated water, as either will mimic a part of their natural habitat. Their peaceful nature and ability to adapt makes them great for a community tank. While they may not be as easy to find as some of the others on our list, they still deserve their spot. They can thrive in a variety of water parameters and do perfectly fine with other species. These cuties only grow to about 2 to 2.5 inches in length, making them a good choice for your tank. They'll do fine in a 20-gallon, but if you're looking to get a group, a 30 is better to provide them with the space they need. They're happiest sitting at about room temperature, but will do fine from 65 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And they also prefer a neutral pH of about 6.5 to 7.5. And as they're bottom feeders, you shouldn't need to worry about them jumping out. So while there is no beginner fish, there are certainly some that are beginner friendly. This is in no way a comprehensive list, but I hope it gets you started in your research and furthers your interest in the world of aquatics. A little research can take you a long way when it comes to this hobby. Thank you for watching. If I missed anything or got something wrong, please let me know. If you found this helpful, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time.